looks in and says, I don't see his body, but I see the napkin. I see that it's folded, meaning I'm back. I see how it's folded, so I'm thinking about these things because I understand what's really happening with these clothes. Watch this. Now I'm walking, and I'm talking to my friends. And we're talking about the thing to my friends. And we're talking about the things that have happened today. The things that have happened this week has been crucified. My friend, my buddy, our homie has been crucified this weekend. So we are in grief. And we're talking about the things that's going on our way somewhere. Watch this. And Jesus steps in our conversation. Matter of fact, sneaks in the crew, and he's walking with the crew, and the crew don't know that their crew member is with them. And they're having a conversation. And he says to them, what manner of communications are these? That ye have come, that ye have one to another, that ye have one to another as you walk and are sad. Somebody say, grieving. It's all right to grieve. It's all right. It's all right to resurrect it because they were in what? Hiding. How many of us would have been so grieved that we could not have attended? You got to realize, look at what's on their shoulder, Jonisha. We did not even fight for him. Judas killed himself when he found out that he was going to be crucified. Tried to get that silver back, but he could not. And he could not bear it that he killed himself. The others ran for freedom. Peter followed Jesus afar off, close enough to say, I've been with you all the time, but far enough away to not be recognized. And every time they recognized him, he would say, no, that's not me. Second time, no, y'all crazy. Y'all know you're talking about. Third time, he cussed folk out. And caught the eye of Jesus when he was cussing folk out. Jesus said, third time, broke down, broke his heart, got out of there. I've disappointed my master. Here, Jesus is walking in the midst of their conversation. And he's saying, what kind of communication are you having? That as you walk, you're sad. And one of them decides to smarten Jesus up. Said one of them said, whose name was Cleopas, answering said unto him, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem? Somebody say, I don't even recognize Jesus. Some of y'all wouldn't recognize Jesus because you're grieving so hard you don't realize that he's sitting right there with you. You're so focused on what happened and you're not focused on who is with you. So Jesus, their eyes are holding, they look like strangers. He looks like a stranger. He refers to him as stranger. Watch this. I want y'all to see, Carl, I want y'all to see the downgrade from the disciples' mouth about who Jesus is. Watch this. Somebody say Cleopas. He said, answering, he said unto them, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the things which are come to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, Jesus answered, what things? Do you know that Jesus will act like you don't know, he don't know what you're talking about, and he knows what you're talking about? Jesus said, what things you talking about? Jesus knows, but he asks a question. Because he needs you to open your mouth and start talking. Keep talking. Watch this. And they said unto him, concerning Jesus of Nazareth, watch this, which was, Peter asked him, when he asked Peter, who do men say that I am? He said, some say you're Elijah. He said, but who do you say I am? He said, thou art the Christ. But now all of a sudden, he just prophet. Uh-oh. Watch it. Mighty, he was a prophet, mighty indeed, and the word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and have crucified him. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. They believed that he was the Christ. Now the belief is out of order because Jesus is dead. He's supposed to be the one that's supposed to come in and redeem Israel, but now he is dead. He has been crucified. We're in mourning for our friend. We're in mourning for who we thought was the Savior of the world. We're in mourning for who we walked with, and we called him the Messiah himself. We're in mourning for somebody we believed, but he is dead now. We trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. And certain women said, and certain women also of our company made us astonished and were early at the sepulchre. And when they found not his body, they came saying that they had also seen a vision of angels, which said that he was alive. And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so that what the women said, but him they saw not. Look at somebody. And until I see it. That's what most people say. I believe it when I see it. The story about the resurrection is too outrageous. Watch this. For people to believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. So the women are doubters because they went looking for Jesus where he was. Why seek ye the living among the dead? The disciples are doubters because the women went and told them, but now they don't believe it. So they have to go what? See what the women saw. But even though I've seen what the women seen, I still don't believe it because I ain't seen him yet. We got too many people in the church, Keela, who will not believe God because they ain't seen it do nothing yet. It ain't, he woke you up this morning is not enough. Because the alarm clock went off. Woo. He started me on my way. No, I put my own clothes on it. He gave me the activity of my limbs. No, my body just worked like that. I need him to do something bigger. I heard that he parted the Red Sea, but I got to find some scientific reason not to believe that it was even possible that he parted the Red Sea. So that's impossible because I have not seen anything like that with my own eyes. Show me. Man said, show me the money. Show me where Jesus has done a miracle in your life. And I promise most of us will try to find the biggest thing we can attribute him to. The fact that I can walk is not a miracle in my eyes. The fact that some of you are still here is not big enough. God had to pull you from an accident where the car totaled over and it was total and you should have been dead, and now you got some miracle. Because you got out without a scratch, but you don't believe it. You still don't believe it was him. It's a miracle, but it's not him. I was just lucky. I'm here to tell you that luck, that your lucky escape to keep living was nothing but a miracle that you don't want to give God credit for. Jesus says, watch this, don't you believe, especially those who have walked with me. Israel walked across, they walked across the Red Sea on dry ground. Literally saw the walls of water on the side of them. They saw Pharaoh drown in the same water they walked through, and then got to the wilderness and said, make us some other gods. There is no God that did that for them. They saw God run people out of their own place and hand it to them. And they still wanted some other God. How is it that you still want something else? Oh, when you had everything you needed. Watch this. Jesus responds in walking with them, and he says, oh, fools. Ask somebody, are you foolish? I want Jesus probably want to say, you idiots. And slow of heart to believe all the prophets have spoken. So when somebody prophesies to you, when somebody prophesies to you, how do you move? Most of us move in doubt. You're going to be a multimillionaire, and we just sit back and wait to see when God gonna put some money in our account. Yeah, they say I'm gonna be a multimillionaire. God gonna do this thing, and we won't do nothing. There has to be, once you believe something, there has to be action behind the belief. You don't believe if you don't move. Wait on the Lord. Yeah, they say I'm going to be a multimillionaire. God going to do this. Looking at everything, I'm packing. I'm packing the things that are not what essential, because I only want to have to pack what's essential when it's time to go. I only want to take what I need, watch this, and have everything else packed away. So when he say, come on, let's go, I only got to grab my coat and what I need to wear for enter into his glory. And beginning as Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. And they drew nigh unto the village whither they went, and he made as though he would have gone further, but they constrained him, saying, abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them. While tarrying means to wait with them, to sit with them. I'm not going to continue reading. I'm going to let you read the rest of it for yourself. Watch this. Tell the story. Jesus shows up in their conversation, and nobody knows it's him. And he's saying, what are you talking about? What are you talking about while you're walking and you're sad? Do you not understand the things that are going on? They say to him, and Jesus said, what things? And they begin to go through all of their problems and their issues and their madness because they took Jesus away from them. And they talking about it so much that they don't realize that they're even talking to Jesus. They're talking to Jesus so long that they enjoy talking to Jesus so long that they invite him to stay with them instead of letting him go further. And he comes in and he sits with them. And they still don't know. Some of us will never know because we are so consumed by what's going on that we can't see Jesus. He says to them, don't you know? In other texts, he says to them, don't you know that I had to be crucified? Don't you know? As he's talking to them, there are times when Jesus starts talking, watch this, and he'll say something that he said already. Jesus starts talking to the disciples, and he says something to them that Jesus said to them already. And when Jesus repeats what he said the first time, the eyes are open then. because they can't. I don't know I can't see him. My eyes are holding. I don't know that it's him, but the minute he started talking, I picked up. Oh, light went off. Jesus was sitting here. We've seen him. Uh-oh. He was here. He was with us. The Bible said when they turned to look for him, he was gone. I'm here to say this to you. We have been to the place where we have been so stuck in the situation and the circumstances that we forgot what we know. Let me help you. You cannot be stuck in your grievance. You cannot be stuck in the issue. You got to remember what he said. He said, I will be delivered into the hands of sinners. I will be crucified, and on the third day, I'll rise again. All we're talking about is he was put in the hands of sinners and crucified. But he said, on the third day, I'll rise again. The problem is that we're so stuck in that the women were the only people at the tomb. The disciples on the third day wasn't even going. They only went because the women said they didn't find him. Can I say this to you? You got to stop, get out your feelings. You need to pick up your... You need to get out of your feelings. Calm, because what you feel like will have you doing something you ain't got no business. What you feel like will make you miss God. Because God said, I don't care what you feel, what did I tell you? So while you're stuck on the 2, I'm talking about the third day. While you're talking about Friday and Saturday, I'm talking about the third day. While you're talking about Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, into Sunday morning, you still on the weekend, I've already risen. So why are you stuck? Because you can't see past your grief, you got to see all things. Watch this. Work together for the good of them that love God and called according to his purpose. You got to see that all things, even though they're bad and there may be some good, they all work together to get you to the end. And if I know that all things work together for the good of them, then that means I ought to be able to go through a little better because I know what's coming. The present sufferings are not worthy to be compared to the glory. So while I'm suffering, I ought to be able to suffer a little better because all things are working for the glory. And when the glory gets here, guess who's going to be standing in the glory? Me, you. So why be down and want to be 40 years in the suffering? Downtrodden. Depressed. For what? Because what you're going through is about to push you to the next level. Don't get mad when things get hard. They got hard for a reason. To push you to the next level, to train you up, to set you up for the next level. Don't get mad when things seem to set back, because God's just setting you back to set you up for the comeback. Greater work will you do. But guess what? He said, greater work will you do because I got to go to the kingdom. In other words, I got to get out of here in order for you to do greater. Jesus had to die. Judas had to do what he had to do. Wow. He's suffering because he made a choice. But if Judas hadn't have done it, somebody else would have had to do it. He still would have had to do what? Die. He had to get on the cross. Watching The Passion of Christ, as much as I want to jump in that movie and whoop everybody, he had to get on the cross. It had to happen. Barabbas had to be released. Woo! Had to die. Had to. Jesus had to take his place. these things that we say we don't want to have, it got to happen to you. Why me, Lord? Because I need to put you in a place. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why? Does this have to happen to me? Because I got to get you to this place because you're going to help 5,000 people. Why did they have to do this? Because you are the voice that's going to pull people into salvation. Why, Lord, did I have to be homeless? Why, Lord, did I have to be broke? Why? Because you're going to have to tell people who are on their way to that place how not to go there and how to be rich. How to pull themselves out of things. Why, Lord, did you allow this horrible thing to happen to me? Because you are the testimony that they can overcome it. Why did Jesus have to die? Because he's the testimony that you'll rise again. Why did Jesus do all he did? Because he had to prove to you that you can live in this sinful world and be without sin. That you don't have to let the world corrupt you. The church does not have to let the world corrupt it. There does not have to be corruption in us. We don't have to sin. We don't have to fall for the okie doke. We ain't got to be tricked. We ain't got to fall for it. We don't have to. We don't have to, Janice. We don't got to. Why? We don't have to be broke. If you understand that Jesus said that even though they buried me, even though they sealed me up, even though they locked me away and hoped that they would never see me again, even though when I got up they lied and said it wasn't true, I went and talked to my people. I went and saw my peeps for at least 40 to 50 days. On the 50th day, there's a Pentecost. I sent my Holy Spirit. I ascended and I sent my Holy Spirit back. Think about that. I went and talked to people, shook hands. Whew. Jesus just appearing in meetings. You turn around, and Jesus like the Undertaker, lights went out, lights came on, he was standing there. Some of y'all have ran about the building, Jesus. The doors were locked. They locked the doors, and Jesus just walked up in there through the wall. Just what's going on? Jesus is a Marvel superhero. He just walking through walls, showing up. First word, he entered the room, go, be not afraid. What you mean to be not afraid? We thought we locked the door. How you get in? Sat down. We thinking he a spirit. He sat down and ate with them. The spirit man saying, pass the hot sauce, throw the fish back. Let's go. Give me some wings. Pass the bread. I know y'all give me that. Give me that. Some wine too. Give here. He said, Jesus, how you walk through walls and you eating? Well, come here. You don't believe it's me? Touch my hands. Told Thomas, he said, put your hand right. Go ahead, put your hand there. Put your hand right there. Put your hands in the holes. Right? Put your hand holes in my wrist. Go ahead, put your hands there. Go ahead and touch my feet. Go ahead. Now, right in my side. Now don't just rub the side. Put your hand in. Put it in there. Y'all need to be saved. And what did he say? I'm gonna get y'all this. I'm out. Peter had to see it. Whew. The disciples did not believe the women. They had to see Jesus. When Thomas, he said, Thomas, we talk about doubting Thomas, but we don't talk about all the doubters, all of them, that they all doubted. Whew. I believe that Judas, if Judas would have known that he was going to rise again, he wouldn't have killed Judas. If Judas would have known that he was going to rise again, he wouldn't have killed himself. If he'd have took his word seriously, he'd hung around. And so, because he would have been able to ask Jesus for what? Forgiveness. Woo! Woo! Lord, forgive me. I didn't know what I was doing. Out of all you've been through in your life, out of all you've been through in your life, out of all you've been through in your life, I want you to know that if Jesus rose, so can you. Get up from where you are. Don't stay in the place that you're in. Don't stay in that downtrodden place. Don't stay in that place where nothing can penetrate to get you to see anything good about what you're in. Because what we do when we go through those things, we find ourselves shutting down and shutting off